think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a Q.
I found it.
All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. We got a good show here. We got Ben, we got Woodman. We're going to give it a few here for everyone to join in, but we are recording for the Patriot Hour. So, folks, we got big news. We got get your popcorn, the government, RIF, reduction in force, and was this the plan? I'm going to jump in here real quick. If you guys are new, subscribe, like, share, comment. Please take a look in the description box and take a look in the comment section. Other than leaving a comment, take a look. There's some of the greatest Patriots hanging out down there. It's been a really great community. We did just hit over 100,000 subscribers last night. You guys are the greatest by you watching, sharing, putting it across all your social media platforms while you can, while you could, and you did it. One thing we want to talk about here, is this a big coincidence? Me and Ben in some garage talk last night, we're talking, and this government, there's seems to be two forms of paperwork. One, if you're in the government services, a government employee, and you're on a layoff or a shutdown of under 30 days, 30 calendar days, or 22 work days. 22 work days or 30 calendar days. And there we go. And then if you're over 30 work calendar days or 22 work days, all right, there's a difference. And that all, you could start laying off at the 30-day mark, which is this Saturday coming up, which is National Popcorn Day. How crazy. Coincidence? Again, get your popcorn. All right, let's jump in here with the guys. They're waiting. Fellas, are you in the room?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
Big news.
Huge news. Look, I tell you guys, it's on the heels of that. Here we go. Get your popcorn.
Get your popcorn. And then we even had the Q posters at certain points.
The movie theater posters. Yes.
Trump's poster.
Yeah, exactly. What do they say? What was it? Something coming. What does it say? And not indictments coming, but that poster he had laid out on the sanctions coming with the two O's with the lines going through them. Hey, Woodman. Now, Mike and I kind of came in agreement on this, but every time you go to a movie theater and you go out, and you see a show, what do you normally do? Do you normally buy popcorn and a drink every time you go out to a movie theater?
Well, I don't do that, so I don't have. I can't.
Well, when you maybe used to, if you ever
Maybe
did.
when you used to, or
Yeah,
I mean, like I agree with you.
You always, yeah. If when I was a kid, you always got a big bucket of popcorn and a large drink and some kind of candy bar or some kind of sweet stuff, and jump down in there. Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah.
So there's that one.
Sanctions are coming.
That was that poster that was kind of laid out. Movie poster was kind of laid out in front on the when he was given his talks or whatnot, and never really talked about it and really looked at it. But so Mike and I was saying that yes, we don't normally go to the movie theaters ourselves. Obviously, we have kids and the movie theater experience like yourself. But we were saying, it's almost a ubiquitous thing with movie theaters and popcorn, and then these definite Q drops, these other quote unquote movie posters, Guardians, the pedophilia, DC Panic, FISA-gate, all slipped into a theater kiosk if you were going to theater. And so all this
Eat
talk
your
of,
popcorn and watch the show, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sit back and watch the show.
So when we were talking about, in Garage Talk, Mike said it earlier, we were just talking, doing the numbers back and forth, and some of y'all kind of know, I know we had helped Elle on the LA 1978 on her channel, getting her stuff going, and our Garage Talk goes from technology to conspiracy and beyond. It's all shammed in there, and this popcorn thing came up, and so yeah, we were just thinking, you go to a movie theater, all these theater posters are out. It's a show. It's get ready, sit back. My popcorn's ready. We've all been saying that, but what does it really truly mean?
Folks, I know that about a year ago, so like you said, the last time I was at the movie theater myself, folks, was a couple years ago with a girlfriend, something. But yes, is this a movie we're watching at this point? Me and you read an article. We read an article about a year ago that told us they might have got involved with these 30, 40, maybe just under 50 key people that are of bad nature, folks, and cut deals. And how would you cut a deal? You already took them to military tribunals under the old system before all the upgrades are put in, and you gain leverage. Possibly you're going to be put to death, and typically in military tribunals it ain't going to be but maybe 30 calendar days later that you'll be put to death by if you're found guilty of treason or these different. I mean, they could be doing it the very next day. The judge is putting the mallet down, and by noon the next day, in about 14 hours, you'll be what? Where's death row? Well, we don't play that game.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they're going to make it that public anyway, as far as every one of them goes, for sure.
No.
You know what I mean?
Well, in the future, what we're told now is that it's being recorded. It's being recorded by military that are under secrecy oath, and it will be released at a later date under President Trump or the future president's discretion. And if there's anything of national security that's being recorded, it'll be edited out beforehand. Now they're saying John Brennan's will be live on TV for us to follow along with. This is real bad. I don't know. Probably
so
a
we were
delay,
thinking
some
that
kind of delay,
Yeah.
Well, if you think about the movie, the show,
That's what I was trying to get to, but
National Popcorn Day, Mike, tell us about when it comes and what is the deal with the either 22 business day partial governmental shutdown or 30 calendar day partial shutdown. How does that correlate possibly with popcorn and the movie and what's happening with the tribunals?
Well, there's a couple different aspects here, and we'll get into it all, folks. But so, yes, we are in historical times because we just reached a few days ago, Ben, the longest that we've been in a government shutdown.
History.
Yes. Up until then, I think Bill Clinton owned it from 98 or something, 99.
21 days was the longest so far.
So when we hit 22, boom, we hit records. Now, there's law in there, all right? Basically, the equivalency of a layoff, which is a reduction in force, a RIF, RIFT, RFFED, RI-FED. You have to get over this 30-day. On day 30, you can start issuing, to the higher level, 60-day notices. You're done.
It's a threshold.
Yes. You have to hit that, folks. So we've never hit that before. I don't think since we've never used it before, most of these people weren't thinking of this. Now, just as weird as Pelosi and old Chuck are acting, and I mean, they've always been weird, don't get me wrong. It's not out of the ordinary. But it's been a little extra weird, a little extra criminal almost. And there's still people following along and rearing them on like, yeah. It's not right, folks. It's highly treasonous. Not supporting our own border wall, giving $54 billion away in our tax dollars to foreign countries, foreign aid, but yet for $4 billion, $5 billion, I'm not going down that path. You guys are some people out there are literally on the wrong side of history here. So anyway, we enter into this 30-day, which is something we haven't ever done before. So, like we've been saying, the government's not going to reopen back up until it's a very much smaller. Things I've been looking into now, it's like slimming down, just trimming the fat off of a lot of areas, literally. If you want to look at it that way, just start, trimming it off. Certain aspects will never come back up. The government's going to minimize their role in all of our lives to a huge degree. if it's going to be done right. If this
Well,
is
what
going,
powers?
Go ahead.
What powers do they have? Well, let us know what powers they have after the 30 calendar days. Now, what possibly can the president's administration do regarding this historical length of layoff? Do they have extra authority now because they've passed that threshold, and now instead of coming back, there could be a reduction in force because the government has sustained for this amount
it's the
of time?
equivalent to a mass layoff. And they're playing into all of our fears like, oh, 800,000. What about all the Americans that have been laid off? What do you do when you get laid off? I don't wish anything bad upon these people, but I, myself, as an active duty military member, I was put into a unique position at the time to go work into a federal government office with GS 15 was the highest. So I had a couple of 13s, 12s, 11s, or whatever. I was filling the role as a 9, I believe, a GS9. That was an unfilled seat for years because nobody wanted to come to that area and take that federal job on. And the way that this guy, this op-ed came out, he said that he's in a position of very high and that you can never get fired. Remember that one undercover video, that guy was flaunting himself and was like, hey, it's really hard to get fired from the federal government. That's a very true statement. It's almost a game of guys. You don't have to do your job. And as long as you don't do anything wrong and you're thinking, well, not doing your job is wrong at most places, not in the federal government. If you don't break any of the blatant rules and you don't do your job, but you follow procedure to not do your job, you're safe. And that's the bureaucracy of it. So it's like after this 30-day, it's basically you put out a mass layoff notice. And it's going to affect people possibly that are good workers and come in and are patriots and stuff. But all honesty, we shouldn't. If we like to take it back to the Constitution, our government shouldn't be so big. So these jobs just shouldn't exist. Bottom line.
And this all comes to the end of the 22 business days / 30 calendar days, literally stops
This
on
Saturday.
National Popcorn Day.
Yes.
And so when we were talking about get your popcorn ready, has that always been the plan? Has this governmental shutdown, because it literally it takes the constraints off of key individuals that sit in high powers like our president and allow that individual to really start to, like Mike said, trim the fat, like the Federal Reserve, like a lot of these things, that IRS, because the IRS is not part of.
They're gone. This is what's.
And so this is what's happening. So, and you can only do this when you're in governmental shutdown, possibly in default of last year's loan, because that's what budgets now. Our budget, that's what, $244 trillion is only to pay the interest.
Do you see now why they're fighting to get the government back open? Get your popcorn. Folks.
Because the movie's coming.
One of the greatest shows. I mean, we're almost at the final stage of this movie, all right? So by talking about that, now we thought Q had said it a lot more, and we were going to bring up the post, but there's not even that many, folks. There's only like what, Ben?
Like four.
Four?
I think there's only 4 posts of all. But he did mention, get your popcorn ready. So there's one thing. He has mentioned on earlier post that says, remember this day. Now, of course, that can be any of the days it's been for the last 8 months. But it's just interesting. It's interesting. Maybe as you pull the Q post up that says something about the popcorn, it's interesting that, is it coincidental? How many times are we going to say, what a coincidence, before it's like Q tells us and like it's well known in common sense? How is it mathematically? It's mathematically impossible to be this much coincidences.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. I wanted to say, did he post? So the first one we ever got, 19th of June, September, October of 17. Get the popcorn Friday and Saturday. We'll deliver on the MAGA promise. POTUS knows he must clean house in order to free up and demonstrate who has authority in order to pass important legislation. This was always a priority. Remember, AG Sessions cannot look at an impartial player that is out to get all former Obama team members, as we need him for other important work. And he will come into focus. And for everyone to think POTUS is not in control is kidding themselves. Also, he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment. Fact. That's one of them. This one down here, got popcorn. Get popcorn. Got popcorn. Our attempts to stall D-Class. Enjoy the show. Got popcorn. You asked for the popcorn. Let it start here. Can anyone tell? So, for this government thing to be hitting the 30-day peak on National Popcorn Day, I don't know if that has much to do with some year and a half ago, 2-year, 15-year ago plan that's leading up to this very moment. Because I would like everyone to think, even you guys, we can discuss this. What, if this plan's been at the inception of our country, 1776 maybe, or if it's, an evil system that goes way back before that, and it just happened to embed itself into ours along the way because we came about, we're something new, just like they do with anything else that's out there. They jump all over it, try to flip it, pervert it. So we just came about in this evil thing that was already moving. If it took 15 years, is that such a long, you had to study the system, how to beat it, how you're going to beat it from the inside out, do what you got to do. I don't take that to be, too crazy of a thought. What do you guys think on that?
Go ahead, Woodman. What you thinking?
Well, I agree. You got to have a game plan for sure. I don't know, like Mike was saying, that's really deep. So in order for you to do your homework, you've really got to do your homework. And the hardest part is to do it without blowing the whistle, so to speak. You still have to do it under the curtain, but still yet get comrades beside you. That was a hard task. But I'm curious to see how this is really going to unfold. This is going to be amazing, just amazing.
Yes. What do you think, Ben?
Well, it's interesting because National Dog Day, we went over that one.
Yes.
What happened there? We're looking at Popcorn Day. These are national things, so it isn't like, ooh, all of a sudden just out of nowhere, it's National Popcorn Day. They understand this kind of stuff. We can look at every day of the Gregorian calendar. They have put something. There's Sandwich Day, Teacher Day, Apple Day, Peach Day. So every day is
Pizza Day.
Yeah, Pickle Day. Yeah, Pizza Day. So it's like
today is Do Nothing Day, by the way. That's
yeah,
what it says.
So
Do Nothing Day.
Okay, so each day, so that's one thing, okay, but when we're talking about the whole National Popcorn Day, it just happens to fall on the shutdown. They knew when the shutdown was, if it was going to go on forever, because they knew it was going to start. We already had a fiscal plan in October. They know these things happen every year, so they can time governmental shutdowns almost to the actual day, because if we're not going to meet on this before it shuts down, on the come deadline, we're not going to meet again. So if they knew starting, let's say, a year ago, that this is now, the plan is now going to become active, even though they've been planning it for 15 plus years, studying it. I mean, constitutional lawyers, how can we get this District of Columbia civil lawyers to see how you can do this, and all this kind of stuff. And it basically got enacted, the operation became active a year ago. Well, that's just kind of out from, not National Popcorn Day can't be too far off from a coincidence. And even that we said before, mathematically, there's too many coincidences to be actually a possible coincidence. It has to be on air of planning.
Yeah.
And we're big proponents of preparation favors victory. And so we can see, like Woodman Sam, this is an extreme amount of preparation, but with an air of, I would say, comedy, because it has talked about movie theaters. He has showed us movie posters. We've talked about this is a wild ride. The stuff we're seeing, it's never happened in history before. I mean, the national unemployment, the GDP, all these things. He starts living off history, and it almost feels like just from already what's happened, we're already in a movie, like things are happening, but nobody knows the end game, but we know the plot twist, you know.
That's where I wanted to get back to that about 6-7 months ago, and I'm in the process of trying to go back and look for this stuff because, man, folks, there's over 700 and some videos at this point. We did a video on some obscure thing we found on the Chans, and again, we always like to say, I was watching something the other day that was like, the whole Q thing's fake. Nothing on the 4chan, 8chan. It's just a joke over there. Well, we agree with that. It's the armpit of the internet, folks. But that statement, I wanted, you know, if it was a half-ass legit show, I would have called in or done something. But it's like they're wrong because we've had leaks, high-level people in the last 20 years drop things. Not every troll or whatever on there. Of course, it's more garbage than what it is. Treasure.
There's been whistleblowers that came out on there and
valid stuff at least a dozen times. Not, you know, and
I just wonder how much JFK Jr. had involved, because you know he and Trump were pretty tight. So it depends on what kind of help did he give. Probably had to be a tremendous amount as far as on the inside, who's who. Guidance, avenues, streets, alleys, whatever they're, you know, however you want to look at it. He probably had a big help with Trump had he still stayed around.
That's what I'm saying. Was he looking into his own father's thing like my video had touched on, and then in that mix you're finding out a lot of other things, and then was he, you know, I don't know, was Robert Kennedy the guy that when Trump would come around, he's like, oh, you got to listen to this, and just telling him things left and right. And Trump's like, man, all right, you're going to get yourself hurt here. Or was he involved in it just as much? I showed videos of Trump has always been the guy that, you know, it seems like now we go back and look, it's on the record. He says things that were against the norm, the things that we all thought, 9/11. So me and Ben got into an article. Politician. Yeah. Well, what, JFK Jr.?
No, Trump, he wasn't a politician.
No,
so
yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, no, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes. So about a year, or not even a year, I would say like 8-9 months ago, me and Ben read an obscure couple of page meme box put together article that devised a story, folks, and we took it back like, whoa, it was a hell of an idea. But it said that in order to do this plan, how do you do it? You take about 40 of the nastiest people that you found to be doing things, and they all went through tribunals a year ago, roughly, you know, maybe even further back. And how do you gain leverage over people that kill people and have already done the most ultimate things? Well, you put their life, you're found guilty, you're going to be put to death, unless you want to appear in the 2018 MAGA movie. And now people can argue these people aren't actors, the Pelosi's and the Schumers and the Hillarys. Yes, they are, folks. For the last 20, 30 years, they've been lying to you on TV in live time. Hey, da. And then they go do something different. So they've been acting. They are actors. So did they get leverage on, we could even take it to 15 people, whatever, all right? Like what you witnessed the other day with Pelosi and Chuck standing there at that and just looking weird, because they're maybe being devised to help cater in the shutdown. No matter what, you will not give us nothing for that wall. You can say you'll give us $1. You'll tell us you'll give us $1. That's the most you can give. That looks real stupid. I've done it in the past. I mean, well, yeah, that was your guys to look good, but now you're going to go real deep with your, because you never were going to do the wall because they were involved in possibly something that happens around that wall that they have interest in. I don't know. But anyway, you put it in their mind, everyone's mind out here today, that certain people had their life leveraged against them already. That's simple. You're going to be put to death in 12 hours. What do I got to do to... Now, if they've been helping this whole thing, and this whole thing that we've been going through everyone's like, well, if you had all that on the, why don't you just, that's not how we do things. This is different. This was exposing a very huge system, and they wanted them to help. Remember how the story went, Ben? It was going to be them that exposed themselves. At the end of all this, it'll be so clear as day that...
Yeah, because even on the Q tweets is, never interfere with your enemy while they're in the process of destroying themselves. And
Yes,
we can
folks.
use that in even civilian terms as you give them enough rope so they can hang themselves. That's
Yes.
kind of the same idea.
Give somebody a shovel, they'll dig their own hole. We've heard it all. They'll dig it deeper too and wider. I mean, that's the bottom line, folks. So that story went into that for us and told us that we're witnessing a movie, we're witnessing people act. The end result is going to be the end result because we already know it. People can say this whole time, Q's led us this way, that way. Not a lot's happened. Specifically all these arrests, but it's again, if it was that blatant in the open, because there are people that aren't involved, like there's people that haven't been on the take. Their controllers, their puppets are the ones that have been taken, and they're still guiding that person in a shitstorm. So
their superiors are for sure.
Yes, some of the handlers have been took. And their names will be maybe less marred in the history books. You guys agree on that? Like it's like a good movie, right? You got the main character and then the right-hand guy. The right-hand guy goes rogue, tricks this guy. But at the end, sometimes he comes back. He tries to save the day. His name's just a little less tainted.
Correct.
It's a possibility.
Well, and on top of that, when you talk about let's bring you guys up to current events here today and beyond. So with the National Popcorn Day coming, with this action happening, we know that military tribunals, as much as it can be recorded. They're being recorded. Mike said it very clearly. We know it, and from what they're saying, they're being recording. So what if we're going to start seeing this stuff all over the news? And of course, they may have some parts of it redacted in the way of pixelation on some pictures. They can't show. They may be showing a piece of evidence.
Mute because it'll be
mute. It'll
if
say
we're getting some
something.
live, I would guarantee it would be 10-minute buffer, something.
Oh, for sure.
Where,
yeah, 30-second for live editing, of course. So we know that if that National Popcorn Day, if that's the case, get your popcorn ready. It's been a movie. This whole our hypothesis of this MAGA movie that's been playing for the last almost year of these actors. How do you get leverage over those people who kill people? Well, it's quite simple.
They're called
this
bad
is the art
actors
of
too,
war.
right? He's always called them bad actors. They're the bad actor in the movie.
Exactly. So what we see possibly now, again, folks, this is all of us hypothesizing. We're trying to connect the dots of the information we have in front of us. Why we keep on saying popcorn? As many episodes as we've been with you guys, what's this idea? Yeah, so this could be effective on starting in just a few days with us passing that threshold, going on to new procedures, not laws, people. These are new District of Columbia federal procedures that are set into place for long-term non-employment. And you can only cross that on National Popcorn Day. Now, is that one where a lot of people are something's going to happen? What's going to happen? We don't know. This is what we're speculating that possibly could happen. But wouldn't it be interesting?
Fact is, we enter day 30, 22 working days of Friday at the end of the shift shutdown. Would have been their 22nd or something day working, and then you wake up, it's the 22nd. That's not a calendar day. Or the 22nd calendar day ends for
business
working
day,
on that Friday.
And you guys understand what we're getting at, Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, when that takes place, are we going to start seeing something that the mainstream is going to start putting out? Like, wait a minute, there's whole divisions that they're now pretty much permanently shelving because they're no longer what we like to call critical personnel. These are mission non-essential. We understand with us three know very clear what mission essential individual or personnel means, or soldier. So these non-mission essential departments shouldn't be there. And I know that's, like you said before, that's hard to hear and hard to say, but my personal belief is there's only should be a very handful of people who actually get paid from who. Well, if they're a municipality, how do municipalities get paid? Well, each person that gets paid from their state, they go there for a couple of days or a week, get stuff hashed out, and go back home. You have the janitors get more paid than the people who actually pass laws because we have all the power, and then the states tell the government what to do. So I'm hoping that this movie does come to fruition, and Popcorn Day could be the start of the movie that we've been going through, and actually been now the mainstream is going to come out, and now it's going to start seeing it, and we're going to start seeing videos of them maybe testifying in these tribunals, and then they're going to maybe have evidence videos that they can show parts and clips and pieces, and then show these individuals saying, yes, that was me, yes, I did that, yes, yes, yes. And then how can you refute that? How can you then say, well, then I thought these people were good people and they had foundations and helped people all over the world, and they say it takes a village, and because she's taken them all, well, what's happening? And it's going to shatter a lot of people's illusions.
I think it ends like, and I'm just being sure here, but we have day 22, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Day 22 of the working day would be Friday, but nobody, the government's on the partial shutdown, so they're these non-essential. They enter day 22 working on Friday, but then day 30 is, I think, Sunday.
Is
today
Saturday
the 26th of the shutdown? Is today the 26th? Does anyone know?
Yeah, throw it up in the chat. You guys let us know.
That's right there. It's like Saturday at midnight. Now Popcorn Day's over. Sunday is maybe day 30, or is it Saturday's day 30?
I think it could be Saturday, honestly, but I mean, you guys let us know. These are the little small details that we're trying to figure out. That does this day 20? Okay, day 26. All right, I understand that one. Yep, right, so day 26 today.
26.
Thank you, XAnon. Awesome.
What did Heather say?
And I mean, yeah, a lot of you guys are talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to be coming up. The blood moon. Plus, it's also they call it wolf moon. The wolf moon is a mixture between a blood moon and a super moon. In layman's terms, it's going to be a big giant moon, and you should be able to see a partial eclipse, and it should be red.
Heather Johnson, real quick. What about the deep state soldiers in Hollywood? They are working together. Does a RIF cause a domino effect through the Hollywood industry? I don't know if the RIF does, but I know an indictment would.
There's a bunch of them out.
Yeah. You got like the 70,000, and I'm not trying to be. That's what I'm believing.
Yeah, I agree.
Jack Rooney in here? That dude, he sent me a good one yesterday, Woodman.
Did he?
He sent me an email, and it just said, "Let me read it." Not the email. I mean, because it's just a title to a thing. I'll find it here real quick. But
yeah, real cool cat, by the way. So
let me see here.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of you guys out there. I mean, I think this is definitely a time for a lot of people who've been sleeping about their rights and stuff are going to become awakened. What's it saying, Mike?
Yeah.
All he does is always send like a little picture. And he put it says it's backwards, but it says ZZ Top. ZZ Tippy Top Woodman. ZZ Tippy Top Woodman. But and then the two O's in Woodman is Q's. He put QQ.
QQ. Oh, that's awesome. So it's
not, I was like, I love it. I love it. Good stuff, brother. And that was last night. So Jack Rooney, there you go.
Awesome.
Check this out. I don't know what's going on there. It looks all washed out. But so we said Hollywood. What about indictments? What else did I have on that subject? I don't know. But yeah, it would explain a lot of how some of these people are acting totally crazy, honestly, folks.
Well, you talk about the Hollywood, of course, the Epstein Island, Podesta, all those guys. That's the human trafficking and the pedophilia and all that kind of stuff that we know that's happening now, and all this kind of, these people worship Satan, this kind of stuff. What do you think one of their epicenters is? In Hollywood, right? The holly from the wood from the holly tree that people, wizards and sorcerers and witches make to cast spells and all this kind of, that's Hollywood. There you go. So this is another avenue that they're going to be cleaning house, because all this is affected, because we all, there is a theory going around that Hollywood was really just a CIA's propaganda department. And so we'll see how clear that is. But for sure, folks, you can't hide from the truth. We know that. Spencer Cufio, 800,000 jobs will save the government $10 billion. Now, is that just in their current pay, or those departments? The departments could save hundreds of billions if those departments are no longer functional. Because we know, like any other department, they're a spider web to other departments, and that department doesn't communicate to this department, and he works or she works in that department. But if you just trim that fat off and it's all one entity, we don't know.
I wonder how much you can trim off, because I know I'm going to be wrong on my dates here, but it seems to me that at the end of World War I or World War II, our country still had money. So I'm sure when they do trim everything back, it's going to be a fantastic day. Look at it. They're just wasting money. They're just wasting. How can you go from having money in a country to being trillions in debt?
Fruitless spending of the bankers.
Going to be a great day Saturday. If that's day 30, I'm gonna be me a lot of popcorn, sitting back watching, seeing what's going to happen. It's crazy. I do feel sorry for a lot of Americans out there, because they're not going to know what's going to happen until it does, and then it's going to be kind of hard for them to actually technically grasp everything. It's going to be quite a bit to chew. People like us, we're kind of, I don't know, we kind of already have an idea. We're searching. These people are still in the idea of the American dream, and they don't want to see any negative stuff. When this stuff comes out, it's going to be hard on them, and I really feel sorry for them.
I agree.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, but let's take it to the bigger picture. 800,000 versus 320 something million. No, billion, not billion. It's going to be million, right? That's the people of America, the United States of America, 330 million, something like that, people, versus 800,000. I think in the bigger picture, I know it's a sacrifice, but I think our president had said it very clearly many times before that I would say a good number of these people are good patriots, and they want to see this through because they know it's a betterment of our country. It's a betterment of their families, their children's children. They can see the bigger picture as well. They can say, you know what, this one small sacrifice, as large or as small as it may be in each person's own household, can be put forth towards their children's. What we're doing is for the generations beyond us, not just for instant gratification of give me my tax return now. This is my children don't have to pay unconstitutional taxes. And that's what it boils down to. And so I that's why I think these 800,000 people, and I can't speak for every single one of them, but I can say a good majority, if they're true patriots, understand what our president's doing. And a lot of them have emailed President Trump and have called him and supported him and says, we're doing what we're doing. There's a lot of veterans who are going outside the norm of talking to other veterans and talking to people around them, looking at community centers. Hey, what do you guys need? I'm seeing in my local area, I'm seeing more food banks replenishing. I just got something in the mail today about food banks. The local churches have food banks. Nothing to do with the government. Just the local communities getting together, helping out people. That's what it's supposed to be about. Not, you guys get what I'm coming at.
Correct.
Yes. Let's take some questions. I went ahead and hit stop on the Patriot Hour video. I'll be getting our first segment of this up over there at some point.
Good stuff, you guys. Super
Great-
good stuff, man.
Great stuff,
my
you guys.
gosh.
Any questions or anything from anyone? We all agreed that we'd go for about the time that we have. We'll go another 5 minutes here. Questions to Woodman, questions for Ben, questions for myself. Start.
No, I
pumping them
don't.
in there, folks.
I don't have any questions.
Well, no. We're getting the people. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't think I can make this. There I can. Can you start reading that now, Woodman? If I
No, I can't. No, I can't. It's too. I don't have a large enough screen.
You can't see those. Is it smudgy to you too, Ben?
All I can
No, I
read
see
is
it.
top chat.
That's real small though on my screen. Can you like blow it up to like maybe
Yeah, hold on.
250?
I'm gonna do this.
Rock and roll, brother.
There's
There it is.
a little better. Yeah, I wish I was a little more tech savvy. I really apologize, fellas. I really
I'm
do.
getting in here.
Chris, I'm loving it. I didn't munch lunch today. I was doing a little bit of business this morning. I didn't get any lunch in me, and Mike and I in garage talk. We're getting amped up, talking about this kind of stuff, and it hit popcorn. I was like, oh, sorry,
It is.
I'm
It's
eating
popped out.
popcorn.
The chat. The chat has popped out, guys.
Popped out.
Somebody
It's
said
popped
pop
out.
It's as big as I could really get it.
That's perfect, brother. Perfect.
Yeah, I can read it.
Cheryl Tolan said, should we worry about flying? I wouldn't worry about flying overseas, maybe from state to state and things like that. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you see something, say something. Remember, not everybody's gone. They're only working on non-essential personnel, non-mission critical. So the airline pilots, they say, oh, TSA, the ones who are really doing their job and protecting, those ones still have to be there regardless.
That was
So I think you should be good.
that was a good story this morning. And when I was reading that article, it was that Ronald Reagan did such a thing in '81 with the all the air traffic controllers when they all went on an illegal strike, and he's like,
Right,
bam,
yeah.
fired them all,
No.
and everyone's like, what about and then it was fine. It ended up being a genius move within a year or two. Like they,
Replenish the stock real quick with young people who want to do it, and these old timers who were liking clinging on to the union, and you can never fire us. And we've been here, and we have tenure. It was like, well, wait a minute, these people are controlling our airplanes. This is national security issues. Yeah, popcorn day.
yeah, national security. I heard a couple days ago about someone had carried a gun on a plane. Not sure what that was about. I didn't hear it. We can look it up. though.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if they did, they would probably go down. Those are areas. Those are safe zones. I guess you're not supposed to really bring weapons. You can't even bring a tweezers or a pair of scissors. You get taken down.
What's the deal with VP Pence? Is he a good guy? We've heard all kinds of things, folks. Honestly, I don't know, but I'll do this for you. Check this out.
It's
I gotta go to players. Players in the game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this is from qmap.pub. This is these people who actually created this website and put this information together are not
It's the
directly
collective-
related.
yes.
It was the collective thought. So they put
Based
the
off
collective the posts. Yes.
Look at that. All right, hold on.
Colin
Well, I
Caesar
know-
said
I-
yes, found gun before boarding. So I guess there was something to do with the gun was found before boarding. It would be interesting. Maybe somebody's trying to exercise their Second Amendment, and wherever I step, as long as I'm within the air and soil of the United States of America, I can exercise all my rights. Think about that one. And so people carrying guns in airplanes, isn't that your Second Amendment right?
Oh, what's that say for Pence? Mike Pence is an American politician and lawyer. Anyway, it says Patriot. Doesn't say shield or traitor.
And so we don't know. We don't know. We know that there's been other people like there's a Gowdy. There has been some hypothetical talk of he possibly, we cannot confirm this, was maybe blackmailed early on in his career, and then as Trump was coming to the scene, he was allowing to a lot of these guys who were these guys who were being stepped on by the real deep staters, being suppressed. These guys are going to allow to start to kind of come out and flourish, like what happened. Old boy came from. So
read this right here, Ben. This thing I got pulled up, if you can.
Do you ever ask yourself these questions? Why is it so many hate Trump and what he is doing? Could it be because he works for good and theirs are evil? Could it be God put him there as POTUS and the enemy knows it, and that is why all hell has been unleashed on this one man? Hate blinds one to the truth. They accuse him falsely of the very things they are guilty of, and yet he persist unimpeded in his mission to give us back, we the people, or give it back to us, we the people, a country that was founded on God and faith in him. God chose a man that would stand for truth, do what is right, and expose all the wrong. Keep this in mind. Keep him and all those who stand with him in your prayers. The weakest saint on his knees in prayer will turn back the powers of evil. Amen.
Wow.
Amen. Amen.
Lord Jesus, I praise your holy name, and I thank you for all you do. I pray for your awesome blessings and wisdom of our great president, President Trump. Lord, bless these United States of America. Unite her once again. I love you in Jesus' name. Amen. Where we go one, we go all. I pledge an allegiance to the flag, United States of America, for which I stand strong.
Nice, nice.
So this is a prayer wall on the thing, by the way, too, folks. So,
Great.
I got a prayer wall. You can just go there and put in, prayer requests for a family member, neighbor, coworker, whatever.
So these guys that run this particular website that collect all this Q information and get the stuff to us, they're doing a really good job, and we like this particular source. There's other sources and other websites you can go to that has Q information. I mean, the QAnon.pub is another one that we've seen. We like the feel of this one. This has a lot more good information to sift through and to verify. It's just a good one for sure.
Yes, I agree. Yes. All right, folks. Well, we will. Oh,
see anything?
I think L's in the room for a minute. Hello, L.
Nice,
hello
nice.
to all the mods. Amy,
Yes.
Chris. Thank you guys.
You guys are awesome.
I see Legacy was in the room. Truce.
Well, yeah, I try to get as I'm talking, but it's hard for me to type
Yeah,
and
I've done a few.
talk at the same time. And the Patriot hour is always good. Woodman, we gotta get you a little handle, so get you all set up over there.
I know.
It'll come. He just just got the
There it
headset.
is.
Sounding awesome, by the way.
Yes, you're sounding awesome, brother.
We would have worked with it
Try-
just with what you had, but we noticed that first few episodes is like, all right, I was already thinking we're gonna have to get this guy a mic, and like I said, most of the time I have an extra one here, but then again with mine, you have to have all this other crazy stuff.
Well, I lucked out, I guess, and got the right one because it does seem to work fine. So,
Oh, it is. It's good.
and I look important like you guys too now.
We're just a couple of nobodies and a couple of never will be's.
Yeah,
We're all a couple of
Got a little-
nobodies, a couple
got a
of never
little-
will be's.
got a little technology, and you're hearing us.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I can hook up another. I got a laptop I can use, and I could probably be doing what Ben's doing right now. I don't think I could do what Mike's doing at all.
Somebody put W. Somebody's doing that now.
WQQDMAN.
ZZ. Tippy. top.
Hey, I like that though. Remember, I have
Folks,
remember I've got the cue anyway. Remember
I think at this point,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yes.
there it is. There it is.
So all
the cue.
three of us that you see here, this is and even like Scott and Nate, we've been involved in a documentary that's been being made for a while. That's all we could really say about it. But it was a funny night, folks. It was a very, very funny night that we met up at our local Legion, and some of the guys, all in good fun because we were drinking a little bit that night, but they couldn't remember Woodman. Like, I'm like, this is my buddy Woodman, and everyone's like, a little bit later, hey, Woodgrain. Everything but Woodman. You know, it was wood grain, hardwood.
It was hardwood. It was all like,
Hardwood,
hey, he could.
wood
I
grain.
mean, you know.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Tippy Top, Woodman.
Yeah,
In the house.
I like that too. Double keys, that's for sure. I like
ZZ Tippy Top.
that. Hey, at least I'm bringing character to the show, people. Come on now, you know.
Hey, you gotta have a pretty boy on the show. That doesn't complete the boy band. You gotta have a front pretty boy, you know.
That's hilarious.
Man, you know, if I was to shave us off, you guys wouldn't even know who I am. You know?
Well, you'd go way off grid.
Yeah. I mean, shave it completely off. Mustache, sideburns, beard, everything. Come on. You wouldn't know who I was. Yeah.
Wood grain. Hey, wood grain.
The
Hardwood.
mange. Wood
mange. That's what I think I was saying that night. Yes, you guys throw him at us. He loves it. We do too. Wood mange.
Well,
Whoever comes up with the best one.
I hope I hope they
Nothing
appreciate us
abusive.
trying to get out the truth for these guys. You know, I mean, even though we do look a little out of the norm.
He brings hair to the show because I have none. Need some pledge on wood grain.
Look,
I want you to pledge wood grain. Pledge your oath.
whoever needs some hair, I still have my ponytail when I cut it off. So if you need a wig or whatever, get a hold of me and I'll send it to you.
That's his new name, man. ZZ Tippy Top.
Tippy Top.
Now we're not going to bring this down to the post, okay?
No.
Okay, all right.
What happens on the show stays on the show.
Yeah, right.
Unless you're one of the
Half people
subscribers.
Would
Half
you?
the people down are already watching it.
Woodman started his
Everything put
boycott of Gillette decades ago.
Yeah.
Don't shave it,
Good deal.
save it.
You know it. The
The
Woodster.
Woodster.
I like it.
ZZ Tippy Top.
What? Yeah.
And then Woodman, and then the two O's you
Oh,
got to
go
put
back to work.
Hughes. All right. We love
You
all
guys
you
are
guys.
awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I needed that laugh. It's awesome.
Yeah, hey, you know, you guys, this is the great part, man. As you know, there's nothing but a lot of love when we come at you guys. You can see our camaraderie. We feel very blessed to have Woodman here, myself, Mike. I mean, we all bring a very unique flavor and our own expertise and interest and information to the mix, and all these other team members here as well, like, you know, Scott, Nate, and some other people. So that's why it's always interesting when you see a bunch of veterans cut on one another. It's a little bit different brotherhood, and I like that you guys can be a part of that today. So lots of love to you guys out there. Yeah, Wood Cognito. I love it.
Woody Woodstock.
Woody
Deliver the
Woodstock.
wood.
Woodstock.
Yeah. Code name Wood.
You know it.
Ditto. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and shut this down. Again, God bless. Godspeed each and every one of you. Love you all. This is great. Patriot Hour wind down. When we hit unrecord for now on, we'll go, you know, we're going to get back to our phone calls, all that. Again, I got a couple hours of some real time AFK away from keyboard stuff.
Oh yeah,
So,
away from keyboard now. You know what that is.
all right, guys. Again, fellow Patriots.
Oh, I love you guys. Hate him
Love
up
you
there.
Airborne.
All right.
Best
Again,
Patriots.
we'll see you guys here back real soon. Woodbeard. Beardwood. Wood grain. Wild thing. Love you guys.